Obviously, these are not easy questions, and this is a region that is very complex and has very serious challenges. And the Sunni-Shia divide is, of course, one of those challenges. However, in the context of ISIS, I believe it's overstated. And saying there's a Sunni-Shia divide is really just an identity cue that allows countries to pick sides. Because the fact is, ISIS has killed more Sunnis than they have Shias. So we may be thinking, well, why isn't Turkey and Saudi Arabia leading the fight against ISIS? And the most obvious answer is, well, they don't want to because they're Sunnis, right? And ISIS is Sunni. But that's not it. That's not true at all. What it is they don't want to create instability in their own countries, which will allow for an opening for Iran, which is exactly what has happened in Syria and Iraq. So when we talk about what's going on throughout the region, of course there is this religious divide, but there's also the instability that is being taken advantage of by countries like Russia and Iran. There's still the question of what do we do about ISIS? And this is extremely important. Because we haven't done anything about ISIS for the last 4 years, now we're talking about what should we do about ISIS. I just read an article today that said ISIS is growing. I mentioned already they have a presence in 33 countries. They have 50 affiliate organizations in 33 countries. And in 11 of those countries, they have taken over entire provinces, which are essentially entire states. And they use the internet to recruit, to indoctrinate, to raise money for operational command and control, and to communicate among those 33 countries. So we need to launch offensive cyber attacks against their communication lines, against their internet sites. And we haven't done that. Our current cyber policy is to be defensive, but we need to reverse that. It's time to step up and use offensive cyber attacks against ISIS. And by the way, we can do that without boots on the ground. We can do that right here in California. We have the people right here in this district who have the technology and the capability to launch those kinds of attacks. Second, we need to take their money. ISIS makes $90 million a month just in the sale of oil. And that doesn't even include the banks, the other businesses, the taxes that they collect, the minerals that they sell. $90 million a month just in the sale of oil. So they have the capability to run these states, to run their pseudo-governments, to have a military capability, to have chemical weapons, to have all of these things that we are so worried about. So of course, we need to be striking their oil fields, the oil tank trucks, the refineries. But we also need to be threatening those countries that are buying oil from ISIS. We need to threaten them with sanctions. And that will take bold action. And then finally, we need to lead. And this means utilizing our own military. There have been several senior military officers who have said we need to commit 15,000 to 20,000 troops in Iraq to work directly with the Iraqi security forces and the Kurds. And I'll tell you, I know that's not a popular thing to say, because the preferred statement is no boots on the ground. But I'll also tell you, that is a myth. It's a misstatement. It's a lie. We have boots on the ground in 156 countries in the world. And they're doing amazing things. They're not all involved in conflict. They're doing diplomacy, humanitarian operations, peacekeeping operations. They're training and equipping our allies and partners. They're doing work that we should be proud of, not work that we should shy away from. We need to be proud to utilize our military. And I'll tell you, I served in the military. I deployed to the Middle East. I planned operations in the Middle East. My husband spent 23 years in the Marine Corps. He deployed. This is not a statement that I make lightly to say, well, just go send some troops, they'll take care of it. I know firsthand the sacrifice that our military members make. So it is not a statement that I make lightly, but it's a necessary statement. It's an important statement, and it's a statement of leadership. The U.S. has got to figure out what direction we're going. We're at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads here at home. We're at a crossroads in international affairs. And we need to decide what we're going to do. Because where we go with ISIS, with Russia, with North Korea, with China, with Iran. The decisions that we make in international security will define our role in the world for decades to come. And I'll tell you the first step. We need to show up. There's a great quote by George Bell that says, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up. We need to show up.